G'day guys, how's it going? This is your boy Winnie and you are watching The Ride. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the top 10 reasons why I absolutely love my Kawasaki Vulcan S650. Let's go check it out. Alright guys, I'm sure you've seen a lot of reviews on the Kawasaki Vulcan S650. Now these are just the top 10 things that I love about my Kawasaki Vulcan S, just the bike in general. Alright, let's start with number one, guys. I think the best thing about this bike is styling. I mean, the way it looks, the way it's shaped, it is just an absolute beautiful bike to look at. I've had so many people ask me when I park my bike, they just walk up to me and say, "Oh, that's a good looking bike. What is it?" And then we start having a conversation about the bike, and I tell them, it is not a Harley. It is not a Harley. Even though it's got that big Kawasaki sticker on the tank, people just, I don't know, for some reason they just don't read it. Yeah, but anyways guys, that's the first thing about the bike I love. I absolutely love the styling of this bike. Yeah, and the way it looks, there's hardly any chrome on it. And the second thing that I love about this bike is it is fast, baby. It is, and it is fast. This bike can beat any other 650 in its bracket. And I'm talking about the cruisers. I'm not talking about the super sport. Now this bike has got its engine derived from Kawasaki Ninja 650 and the Versys 650. They've just basically tuned the engine a little bit differently, so it sort of gives you that smooth power like a cruiser rather than a super sport grunt. Yeah, so just a little bit of tuning in the engine, but man, this bike has got some power. Now in Australia, these bikes are actually coming restricted. They're coming restricted from the factory because the target market over here is the beginner riders. That sort of brings me to my next point why I love this bike so much is that even though this bike's 650, it is a perfect beginner bike. It is so good to handle, so easy to handle, so good to learn on. This bike is an absolute perfect bike for beginners. It's low, so the beginner riders, they don't feel like their feet can't touch the ground, and they can actually have more confidence riding in the bike. They can have more confidence riding the bike, knowing that their feet will actually touch the ground. They can handle the bike a lot better. And talking of beginner rider, guys, when you are a beginner rider, you don't want to spend a fortune on your first bike. And I think this bike is priced perfectly in that moderate range. And in Australia, you can get this bike for anywhere between $10,000 to $11,000, which is not bad for a brand new bike. If you are buying this bike, what you should consider buying the bike which is a couple of years older but hasn't done a lot of kilometers. The bike will perform like new, and sometimes you can get really good deals on the learner bike by just buying the bikes which are what's wrong with this guy? Yeah, sorry, getting back to the topic. Yeah, sometimes you can just get really good deals on the bikes that are a couple of years old, but they haven't done a lot of kilometers or a lot of miles on them. Yeah, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the handling. Like I said, it is a great beginner bike, and the handling on this bike is just absolutely superb. It is great on highways. I usually ride about an hour to get to work every day on a highway, and it does an absolute fantastic job. And it's the same with the city riding. I mean, it's an absolute delight to ride in the cities as well. So the handling, handling is superb on this bike. You whether you take it on the hills or you're riding on a highway or you're riding in the city, absolute fantastic ride and handling capabilities of this bike. And that sort of leads me to my next point, which is the brakes. Man, the brakes on this bike are really, really good. The rotors and the calipers, they are fantastic. The braking capability of this bike is amazing. And my bike has got ABS as well, so it helps a lot if I have to put emergency brakes or if I have to apply emergency brakes. It makes it a lot smoother. The wheel just doesn't jam. It sort of makes it a lot smoother stop, which is a great bonus. If the wheel jams and if the road conditions aren't that great, then there are chances of you dropping your bike. So if your bike brakes are great, if your bike brakes are amazing, then that sort of takes care of a lot of things. Yeah, the handling and the brake on these Kawasaki Vulcan S650s are just absolute amazing. Yeah, and the other thing I love about this bike is its capability to adjust according to the rider height. So when you want to resell the bike, it's a lot of the bikers, they kind of look for the bikes that they would like to ride according to their height, their weight, and all that sort of stuff. But with this bike, the best thing is that you can actually adjust the seats. You can actually adjust the position of the foot pegs, the front foot pegs, and the handlebars. So you can actually adjust a lot of things on this bike according to your weight, according to your height, according to your riding position, what you are comfortable with, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's a huge advantage. And talking of reselling the bike, I guess the price point, because of the price point and because of all the benefits on this bike, the resale value on this bike is quite high. Now I know I did say that you can find great deals on a couple of years old bike, but if for example I want to sell my bike, I would easily get about $9,000 for this bike, and I bought this bike in 2015, and it is, and I've done about 11,000 kilometers or something on it. So yeah, resale value on these bikes are pretty good. So that's a huge advantage for you if you are planning to buy this bike. That's a huge advantage. I guess the last thing I want to touch upon is the whole cockpit area over here, if you want to call that. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, in the night it sort of lits up a little bit. It becomes it's got a blue LED light in there, and it looks really nice in the night. I think you can probably see it right now with me riding in the shade under the trees. But it's got a clock. It's got average kilometer per liter. If you press that, it's got the range, so how many kilometers you can ride your bike for, the general odometer, and 2 trip meters, and it's also got a fuel sort of gauge at the bottom. At the last sort of bar, it starts flashing, and that just basically means it's your reserve. It's got the light for neutral, which is quite handy, so you know when your bike is in neutral. Like now, you can see that's come on. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I think I lost my count there. I'm not sure whether I've counted 10 items or not, but I can probably find 1,000 items on this bike that I actually love, or 1,000 things about this bike that I actually love. So I guess you do get the idea. You know, if you like the video, hit that like button, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe my channel and hit that bell icon, guys. It really helps, and you get to know whenever I release a new video. Alright, until next time, guys, I will see you all later.